And when Savannah Guthrie sat down with the student at the center of the concocted controversy, these are the types of questions that she chose to ask.
Do you feel from this experience that you owe anybody an apology? Do you see your own fault in any way? Why didn't you walk away? There's something aggressive about standing there, standing your ground. Do you think if you weren't wearing that hat, this might not have happened?
Her facial expression says it all. But then today, when Guthrie invited the Native American activist Nathan Phillips on, the one banging the drum, the privilege seemed to go the other way.
How are you doing? This has been a whirlwind few days for you. Do you think he should have apologized? And how did you feel in that moment? Did you yourself feel threatened? Have you feared for your own safety? Finally, I wonder what you feel now.
And notice the facial expression in this photo. She seemed to be in pain when she was with Nick. Well, she treats Mr. Phillips with kid gloves even after her earlier report disproved many of the charges that Phillips had made against the Covington kids.
Did you hear anyone say, build that wall? It isn't audible on the video clips, I think, that are out there, but did you hear that?
You know, I did hear that, and I have seen some out there on the internet where you can hear them saying, build that wall.
On the internets. Got to get right on that. Given the varying accounts of what happened and outright lies that he told the media, why on earth is Phillips being treated like a delicate flower while a kid who did nothing is grilled? Why haven't the media actually examined the background of Mr. Phillips as well? Why didn't Savannah ask him, for instance, why he passed himself off as a Vietnam combat vet when in fact he was a reservist serving at home, who was incidentally also arrested for assault and even at one point escaped from prison? No big deal. Perhaps Mr. Phillips gets the benefit of the doubt in this case and others because among the media elites, he enjoys something you might call minority privilege. In other words, his heritage and his grievances, both real and imagined, entitle him to special treatment and consideration. And by the way, if you dare question his motives or his opinions, then you're a racist, period. That's patently unjust. It's ridiculous. Now look, evil still exists, and of course racism does exist. But this isn't the 1950s when minorities were denied opportunities across the board and when hateful stereotypes were broadly applied to them. They genuinely suffered. Thankfully, things have changed. Of course, pockets of racism still exist and always will. But in the wake of the civil rights movement, opportunities for all minorities now are vast. The election of minorities to Congress, the Senate, appointments of minorities to the Supreme Court, and of course the election of a black president. The success of minorities in academia, in business, in sports and entertainment. It's inspiring. Black or white or yellow or brown, we are all children of God. No one should be profiled as a thug or gunned down for wearing a hoodie at night, and no one should be profiled as a racist and threatened for wearing a MAGA hat. With 2020 around the corner, I'm afraid this is all just going to get a lot worse. Instead of looking beyond race, American elites are using it cynically to divide us and to scare up new voters, they hope. Meanwhile, as frustrating as the current Washington stalemate is, things are actually, believe it or not, getting better in America. Just about everyone of all races and creeds have more money in their pockets to spend, which means people should generally be less and not more angry and dissatisfied. But Democrats can't have that going into the next election, can they? Happy voters, they don't want them. Nick Sandmann didn't cower or run away when he was confronted by the drum-beating provocateur or those other angry black activists. Too often, Republicans' first instinct, even when innocent, is to back down or apologize in order to placate the left. But here was a kid who with grace and dignity, maybe looking a little goofy, but he's a kid. He smiled, he stood his ground, and he refused to be bullied, even today. He wasn't standing up either for white privilege or minority privilege, but for American privilege. The privilege to believe what you wish and not to be attacked for it.